Hi, my name is Akiva Goldman, and I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan, and we're continuing our video series designed to educate the public, so please subscribe to our channel. We got a question about a divorce situation when one is on a tight budget. Well, you got to understand a few things about that. Number one, the costs in a divorce ratchet upward as the parties are fighting over things. So therefore, if you know in advance that you have a tight budget and there's only so much that can be allocated to the divorce, then you're just going to have to sit down and figure out what is it that's important to you and focus your financial attentions on that. And the things that are not that important to you, you're going to have to let those go. It's like anything else in life. It's like buying a car. If you want to buy a car and you have $30,000, that's going to restrict you to a type of car with a certain type of amenities, type of items that come with it. You may not be able to get this kind of package and that kind of package. You may have to go with the cloth seats instead of the leather. You may have to get a Buick instead of a Mercedes. There's all sorts of things that you might have to do. A divorce is the same way. So if you know that your budget is limited, be judicious about what you're fighting about. We have couples that fight over pots and pans. And the funny thing is, the people who can afford to do it typically won't. It's the people who are fighting, who are on a very tight budget, who find themselves fighting over stuff that can be easily replaced. There's nothing wrong with having a budget, and there's nothing wrong with saying to your attorney, look, my budget ranges between $5,000 and $7,000. That's really all I can afford over the next 6 to 8 months to pay for this divorce. There just isn't more money for it. So if that's the case, then a frank discussion should be had, and your lawyer can tell you, look, in general, if there is no fighting, this case is going to cost X dollars, give or take. You never know for certain. But there's going to be a range that, based on experience, they can tell you. But if your idea is that you got a fixed budget, so you're going to fight over every little thing and expect that your lawyer will work within your budget, he's not going to do it because it makes no sense. You're not going to be able to have every single thing that you want and fight about every little item of minutia if you don't have a huge war chest to pay for it. Clients are always amazed that the costs are so high to handle their divorce, and yet they don't understand why their lawyer's reluctant to file a motion over a $20 late fee that somebody else should pay. I once had that. Or fight over who's going to take the newer TV. One was a year older than the other. Who's going to take which one? When both of them could have been replaced for $500 instead of the $1,500, $2,000 that motion cost. It's amazing how people don't realize that just like you budget everything in your life, you got to figure out what you're going to fight about in your divorce. If you've got unlimited funds and you want to fight about all these things, you can tell your lawyer that. But if you, like most people, and you want to do things within reason, that's going to mean one thing. If you want the bill to be within reason, you're going to have to conduct yourself within reason. That means that if you don't like your ex and he calls you a bad name, you might tell a family member about that rather than call your lawyer and have a conference about it, because the family member is probably free and probably give you a cup of coffee while you're doing it, whereas the lawyer is going to be charging you. And that phone call is going to cost $150 or $200. You want to spend money on that? If the answer is yes, do it. If the answer is no, then find another way to utilize your lawyer only for the things that you really feel are important. Here's the litmus test. If you're okay with getting a bill for it, involve your lawyer. If you're going to get that bill and you're going to say, I can't believe I have to pay for this stupid conversation I had with my lawyer, don't have the conversation and you won't have to pay for it. It's really simple. But when we talk about it now, it's a lot less complex than when you're in the heat of the moment. So when you're in the heat of the moment, you might have that feeling that you should write that email to your lawyer or call him up on the phone and tell him about how she treats your kid in a rougher way than you do. His parenting style is different than yours, that you don't like it. You know what? Those are great things to talk to people about, but whether or not you want to involve your lawyer in that, that's something you're going to have to be very judicious about. If you have any questions about that, reach out and we'll be glad to help you out.